Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico, known for his sharp rhetoric against Ukraine and its Western allies, launched another scathing attack on Volodymyr Zelensky, accusing the Ukrainian leader of attempting to gain favor with US President-elect Donald Trump. Speaking during a televised address, Fico criticized Ukraine's policies on gas transit, NATO and EU relations, highlighting the strain between Bratislava and Kyiv, while signaling his government's defiant stance on regional energy politics.
The fact remains that President Zelensky is ingratiating himself with the friendly new American president at all costs. It is not just that Slovakia will lose hundreds of millions of euros in transit fees, and the entire EU will lose tens of billions in higher gas prices. But it is that by stopping gas transit through Ukraine, Zelensky is offering all of Europe on a platter to the United States to supply more and more expensive liquefied gas.
The Slovak leader went further, alleging that Ukraine is deliberately targeting critical infrastructure, such as the Turk Stream gas pipeline, to disrupt energy flows from Russia to Europe and force reliance on US gas.
All this is the Ukrainian military attack on the southern branch of the Turk Stream pipeline, the pipeline that carries Russian gas to Turkey and then on to Southeast and Southern Europe. Zelensky simply wants to stop any flow of gas from east to west so that gas can flow from west to east, mainly from the United States to Europe.
Fico also reaffirmed his government's opposition to Ukraine's NATO membership, calling the prospect a trigger for global conflict. He dismissed the pro-NATO stance of some Slovak factions and pledged never to send Slovak soldiers into the conflict.
The government I lead will never support Ukraine's membership in NATO because it would only lead to World War II. Everyone is aware of this from the answers, except for our Slovak progressives. The government will also never propose sending soldiers to Ukraine to turn their weapons against the Russian Federation. If this idea appeals to progressive Slovak MPs, I recommend that they join the ranks of the Ukrainian army.
Turning to Zelensky's international overtures, Fico ridiculed the Ukrainian president's offers of assistance to the United States, using biting sarcasm to question the practicality of such gestures and hinting at potential retaliatory measures from Slovakia.
President Zelensky's offer to send firefighters to the United States to fight forest fires is also strange. When I listen to it, according to him, the whole of Ukraine is burning. I didn't know that it had such firefighting capabilities that it could use them even 10,000 kilometers from Ukraine. The further away, the more convinced I am that President Zelensky is forcing us into reciprocity, and we will do so. I have already announced a list of possible reciprocal measures.
In his critique of NATO and EU leadership, Fico targeted NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte, questioning the effectiveness of Western support for Ukraine and challenging the human cost of prolonging the conflict.
In this context, the statements of the new NATO Secretary-General, former Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte, whom I know personally, have recently been quite shocking. Apparently, Ukraine is now too weak to negotiate peace. Okay, dear Mark, so how many more Ukrainians and Russians need to be killed for Ukraine to be strong enough? I know you don't care, but I don't. Or that we will all increase defense spending or learn Russian.
Fico's latest statements reveal a widening rift within the European Union and NATO over their approach to the Ukraine-Russia war. With Slovakia charting a more combative course under Fico's leadership, questions loom over how his rhetoric will impact the region's already fragile alliances.